Some projects that used to launch around 1,000 ringgit per square feet later dropped to around 500 ringgit per square feet when supply far exceeded real end user demand. In the next 3 to 5 years, we are seeing a surge of around 20,000 to 30,000 new units being built near the city. Price per square feet here are relatively higher. So most of the time, if you want to have higher ROI, your go-to project is made up of different micro markets. For example, am I buying because of real numbers or just because everyone is talking about it? This one question will completely change how you look at these 3 cities. Are you choosing a city to live or a city to invest in? Right now, a lot of people are hyping JB because of the RTS. Everyone's talking about the future growth, Singapore spillover, RTS boom, but very few actually sit down and work out the numbers. If you are thinking about moving to Malaysia, you're probably hearing the same 3 names over and over again. Kuala Lumpur, Penang, Johor Bahru. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. Each of these cities can be the best decision of your life or the most expensive mistake you'll make in the next 10 years. And the crazy part, most people choose based on vibes, Instagram photos, or what their friends said. Not data, not logic, not long-term livability. So in this video, let's break it down properly. Where should you actually live? Is it Kuala Lumpur, Penang, or Johor Bahru? Hi everyone, this is Ray. Welcome back to another episode of the Malaysia Property Market Review series. Before we dive deep, I want you to ask yourself a very important question, because this one question will completely change how you look at these 3 cities. Are you choosing a city to live or a city to invest in? Because those are 2 very different decisions, and if you mix them up, you're very likely going to be disappointed. So let's start with own stay. If you're choosing where to live, it's extremely subjective. It depends on your lifestyle, what actually feels like home to you. Some people want beachfront living. For them, Penang feels like a dream, and some want international schools for their kids. So places like Mount Tiara, Desa Park City, Bukit Jalil, or Tanjung Bunga in Penang starts to make a lot more sense. Some prefer city convenience like KLCC or the TRX area where you're close to offices, malls, and trains. Some want a greener, calmer environment like parts of Penang, Desa Park City, Bukit Jalil, or Eco Botanic in Johor Bahru are usually what they look at. So if you want easy access to hospital, KL and Penang both do very well. If you love nightlife and a more vibrant city feel, KL still leads immediately. So for own stay, it's emotional. It's about comfort, convenience, lifestyle, and honestly, only you can decide what you enjoy. Now, investment is a completely different game. Investment is not about, I like the beach, I like this cafe, or my friend said this area is nice. Investment is about numbers and fundamentals, like data, rental demand, occupancy rate, commercial activities, job creation, transportation connectivities, future infrastructures, population coming in or leaving. It's about being brutally honest with the numbers, not how the city feels on a weekend trip. Because here's the reality. A city can feel peaceful and very nice to live in, but have weak rental demand. A city can feel a bit industrial or messy, but give you strong rental ROI because thousands of workers are moving in. A city can feel premium and very polished, but if there's oversupply, your rental you get crushed. This is where most people get it wrong. They mix up own stay preferences with investment logic and regret it later. So in this video, we are going to separate those 2 clearly, and then we'll break down Penang, Kuala Lumpur, and Johor Bahru from both angles, how they feel to live in and how they perform as an investment. So you can make a decision not just based on how the city looks on Instagram, but based on how it actually works for your lifestyle and your long-term plans. If you are ready, let's start with Penang, Malaysia's island lifestyle hub. Penang's a city most people imagine when they think Malaysia, but slower, more relaxed, and right by the ocean. This is where a lot of expats come not to chase the hustle but to escape it. You don't move to Penang for skyscrapers, you move for the sea breeze, the heritage streets, the slow mornings, and of course the food, which is honestly pretty hard to resist. So let's break it down properly. KL feels like a sprint. Penang feels like a deep breath. Life here slows down in a good way. You have morning walk by Gurney Drive, cafe hopping in Tanjung Tokong, evening stroll by the sea. It's a kind of place where people come to fix their work-life balance, not destroy it further. Penang has a very established expat presence. You will see British, European retirees, Australians, Hong Kongers, Taiwanese, Chinese, Singaporeans, and long-term digital nomads. There are social groups, meetups, and people who have been here 10-15 years. So if you're worried about feeling isolated, Penang makes that a lot easier. It's one of those places where you land and very quickly find your people. Now, this part is important, especially if you're thinking long-term. Hospitals like Island Hospital, Gleneagles, and Avantro are all highly regarded in Malaysia. Penang is actually a major medical tourism hub, especially for Indonesians who fly in just for treatment. Why is that important for you as an expat? Because it means you get relatively affordable, world-class medical options in a city that's still small enough to feel human. And if you're someone who cares about having good hospital nearby, or you just like doing yearly medical checkups, Penang ticks that box very well. So beyond lifestyle, Penang also has a serious economic backbone. In Bayan Lepas, you have got multinational factories, electronics and semiconductor players, and a growing tech and medical ecosystem. So if you're in tech, engineering, electronics manufacturing, or you're connected to the medical and wellness industry, Penang isn't just a retirement island. There are real jobs and real business activities happening here. But let's be honest, Penang's traffic can still get jammed, especially on the main stretches. But compared with Kuala Lumpur's, many people find Penang a lot more livable. Distances are shorter. You are often just 10 to 20 minutes from where you need to be. So in the next part, we'll zoom into where expats actually live in Penang. We have Tanjung Tokong, Gurney Bay, Batu Ferringhi, Tanjung Bunga, Bayan Lepas, and what kind of property prices you are really looking at. Now, as much as Penang sounds like a dream, it's not perfect. So let's be fair and talk about the downside. Firstly, public transport. There's currently no LRT or MRT here in Penang, and bus connectivity is quite limited. It's not like KL where you can rely more on trains. Secondly, traffic bottlenecks. Even though Penang Island is smaller, the roads can get very congested because there are only a few main roads connecting everything. So once there's an accident, construction or rain, it stacks up very quickly. Thirdly, fewer high-paying jobs compared to KL. Unless you're in sector like the tech, engineering, manufacturing, or medical services. KL still leads when it comes to salary growth and job diversity. So if your career is your main priority, you will feel that difference. Number 4. Nightlife is more limited. Yes, Penang does have bars, cafes, and some nightlife spots. But if you're used to Bangkok or Singapore or even KL's nightlife, Penang will definitely feel quieter and more low-key. So let's check out the number 1 hotspot for expat in Penang, Tanjung Tokong. You've got sea views, walkable lifestyle, a mix of retirees, families, and long-term foreigners. First, let's check out Gurney Drive and Gurney Bay. This is one of the most premium waterfront stretches in Penang. There's even a reclaimed land here by E&O, which is being shaped into a new township facing the sea. So today, you've got a seaside park promenade and you are in between 2 major malls. This area is especially popular among expats who want maximum convenience. You can walk to the mall, the park, cafe, groceries, basically live your daily life without needing to drive. If you're looking for completed projects in this area, you can check out Marriott Residence, the Regency Condominium, and Gurney Paragon Residences. Price-wise, you're looking at roughly 700 ringgit to 2,000 ringgit per square feet, depending on the project and unit. And if you don't mind waiting for a few years, you can look into projects like Loom, Western Residence and Maris, with price ranging from around 800 ringgit per square feet to 2000 ringgit per square feet. Next, we have Butterfree, the beachfront living resort, relaxed atmosphere, perfect if you want nature, beaches and a slower pace. And in recent years, the Butterfree stretch has become a lot more lively, especially around the newer beachfront hangout spot called Free Bayside. At night, you'll see fire shows on the beach, bars and cafes where you can drink and chill by the sea. More happening vibe compared to the old quiet resort only days. And in the day, it's all about activities. You have got jet skis, parasailing, banana boat and small boat tours. Being right at the beach with things to do day and night, Butterfree is the kind of lifestyle. If you're looking for completed projects in this area, you can check out By the Sea at Butterfree and Free Residence. Over here, prices generally range from around 900 ringgit to 1000 ringgit per square feet depending on the unit and facing. Next, we have Tanjung Bunga. It's popular specifically among expats with kids. Why? Because it's close to several international schools and it gives you a nice balance of greenery, hills and sea views without being too far from Gurney Drive or Tanjung Tokong. On weekdays, it's practical. School runs, groceries, daily life. On weekends, it feels like a mini coastal escape. And right here, you also have the popular Straits Quay area where luxury yachts are parked and waterfront cafes, restaurants and more European marina vibe. It's one of the spots where you will often see expats walking, dining or even have coffee by the water. If you want a mix of family-friendly, near school and close to the water, Tanjung Bunga is usually one of the first names that comes up. If you're looking for completed projects in this area, you can check out Villa Mutiara, Casa Legenda Mutiara and Pearl Hill Residences. Prices here generally range from between 700 ringgit to 1000 ringgit per square feet for most units. If you don't mind waiting for a few years, you can look into newer projects like Waterstone, where price ranges from 1.1k per square feet to 1.3k per square feet depending on the view and level. I've compiled an easy to read ebook covering 12 most popular projects in Penang, including their layout size, price range, maintenance fee and project highlights. If you want to compare them side by side, you can find them in the link in the description below. Next, we have Bayan Lepas. For expats working in MNC or the tech or manufacturing sectors, Bayan Lepas is the most practical choice on the island. It's home to Penang's Free Industrial Zone, where many multinational factories and offices are located. So your commute can be 10 to 20 minutes instead of driving across the island every day. It's also close to the Penang International Airport, which is a big plus if you travel often for work or fly frequently in and out of Malaysia. Lifestyle-wise, it's less resort island and more tech city or working hub feel. You are near Queens Bay Mall and plenty of everyday amenities. Condos here are generally more affordable compared to the seafront Penang hotspot. The vibe is more local, plus working professional, less touristy. If you are someone who prioritizes short commutes and convenience over seafront views, Bayan Lepas is usually the most logical base. If you are looking for a completed project here, you can check out Queenswoodz Residence, Queen's Residence Q1 at Queen's Waterfront, and Baystar Condominium. If you don't mind waiting for a few years, you can look into some upcoming projects like Queen's Residence Q3. Price ranges from between 900 ringgit to 1.1k per square feet. Next, we have the Light City. Everyone knows Penang for heritage and food. But right by the sea next to the Penang's first beach, a new waterfront city is coming up. With Penang's second largest mall, a world-class conventional center, hotels, offices and a future LRT station all in one place. From here, you are roughly 10 to 15 minutes to Komtar, Bayan Lepas and Gurney Drive, and about 12 minutes to the airport right at the crossroad between Penang's heritage core, Industrial South and Upper Skill North. So if you're looking for completed seafronts home here, you can look into Light Linear, Light Collection 125, Light Point and Waterside Residence. Price ranges from 700 ringgit to 1,002 per square feet. If you don't mind waiting for a few years, you can look into projects like Lighthouse and The Keepers. These are projects that are located next to the future LRT station with price starting from 1,000 ringgit per square feet. Moving on, we have Batu Kawan. If you have been to Hsinchu in Taiwan, Batu Kawan feels like that, but before it fully matures. It's Penang's emerging industrial tech and growth corridor on the mainland side, connected to the island via the second Penang Bridge. Here, you have Batu Kawan Industrial Park with tech, manufacturing and electronic players, IKEA, Design Village Outlet Mall, new universities and campuses slowly forming an education belt, more factories, offices and workers coming in every year. It's less heritage island cafe hopping Penang and more early stage growth north with jobs and infrastructure catching up. For Homestay, it mainly suits people working nearby who don't need island lifestyle every day. For investors, Batu Kawan is more for those looking at long-term capital appreciation, enter early and let the township mature before the ecosystem is fully built. Now let's talk about who should seriously consider Penang. If you're thinking about Homestay, Penang is best for you if you want a slower, healthier lifestyle instead of a daily city rush. If you prefer coastal living and sea breeze over skyscrapers, city lines, if you have kids and want to be near international schools around Tanjung Bunga or Tanjung Tokong, if you value good healthcare access with multiple major hospitals nearby, if you enjoy culture, food, heritage streets, cafes and seaside walks, and if you prefer peace and calm over honking, traffic and big city life. If you hear this and think, yeah, that sounds like the life I want, then Penang, especially the island side, might be a very good fit for you. Now, from an investment point of view, Penang is a bit different. Penang is best for you as an investor if you're looking for long-term capital appreciation and if you're willing to enter early into branded residence like Marriott Residences or into developing areas like Batu Kawan and the light waterfront. And if you're also interested into short-term rental, do be aware that there's a short-term rental ban in non-commercial residential buildings in Penang. So you have to pick carefully. Instead of simply buying any random condo, go for projects that are really positioned and built for short-term rental like The Keepers, where it comes with a check-in counter, a luggage room, just like a hotel. So if you're the type who say, I don't just want yield, I want lifestyle, fundamentals and long-term value, then Penang, if done correctly, can be a very solid choice. So next, let's look into Kuala Lumpur, the capital, the melting pot and the city where most expats eventually end up. If Penang feels like a retreat and JB feels like a rising opportunity, KL is where everything comes together. Career, lifestyle, convenience, diversity and that fast city pace. Walk around Mont Kiara, KLCC, Desa Park City or Bukit Jalil and you might even forget you're in Malaysia. You'll hear Japanese, Korean, Arabic, French, Mandarin, Cantonese, English all in the same cafe. It's a city with the biggest international presence and the broadest lifestyle options. So let's break it down properly. So firstly, KL is the most international city in Malaysia. If you want diversity, KL is unbeatable. This is where you will find international schools, foreign supermarkets, multinational company HQs, embassies, huge expat communities, clinics, gyms, daycare, and restaurants tailored for expats. Mont Kiara alone feels like a Japanese, Korean, European village. Desa Park City is where families go for safety, parks, and community. Bukit Jalil is the rising middle upper suburb that draws expats who crave a blend of green space, modern lifestyle conveniences, and a contemporary atmosphere. Number 2, if your career matters, KL is the only logical choice. Almost every multinational HQ, financial firm, consulting firm, and major tech companies operates here. Penang is famous for its semiconductor and electronics ecosystem, and of course, for its rich cultural heritage and laid-back island lifestyle. Johor Bahru is banking on future growth with all its upcoming developments and its proximity to Singapore. But Kuala Lumpur? KL has a sure skill, opportunity and diversity that no other Malaysian city can match. If you want upward mobility, connection, events, networking, it all happens here. Number 3, KL is the only city in Malaysia where you can choose to rely more on public transport. But let's be honest, it's still more convenient with a car. What you do get here is the best connected network in the country. You've got the MRT, LRT, monorail, KTM commuter, direct airport rail link, the KLIA Express, a growing list of transit-oriented developments. But in typical Malaysian life, car still gives you more comfort and flexibility. Number 4, strong medical education and daily convenience ecosystem. If you have kids or health needs, KL is the most complete choice. Hospitals like Prince Court, Gleneagles, KPJ, and Specialist Centre offer strong medical standards. And even if you just need a medical checkup, you have world-class yet relatively affordable option here. And when it comes to international school, they are everywhere. Mont Kiara, Desa Bang City, Bukit Jalil, Ampang, City Centre. Speaking of groceries, almost every major global brand is here. From imported product to specialty supermarket, for overall quality of life, KL simply gives you the most option. As for the con, KL traffic loves to surprise you. During peak hours, a 12-minute trip can suddenly stretch into 40 minutes just because it rained, people keep switching lanes, and there are simply more cars on the road as everyone is going to or coming back from work. And if you are retired or a freelancer, you can always dodge these peak hours and enjoy much smoother rides. Next, the cost of living. You might think that compared to Penang and JB, daily costs like food or grocery in KL are much higher, right? Actually, that's not necessarily true. The cost of living, especially in JB, has surged due to the influx of people coming over from Singapore, and Penang isn't exactly cheap either. A plate of char kway teow there can easily go for 8 ringgit or more these days. And in terms of property prices, you might think KL is the most expensive across the board. Well, the answer is yes and no. In the city centre, you can see ceiling prices of 3,000 to 4,000 ringgit per square feet. But in many expat-friendly neighbourhoods like Mont Kiara, Desa Bang City or Bukit Jalil, you are looking at around 800 ringgit to 1,400 ringgit per square feet. Compare that to Penang, where expat-friendly areas average around 1,000 ringgit per square feet, and also consider the recent speculation in JB that pushed prices near the CIQ area up to about 1,400 ringgit per square feet. So what does all this mean? In short, choosing between KL, Penang and JB isn't a one-size-fits-all decision. Each city has its own unique blend of lifestyle and investment potential. KL might offer the most diversity and urban convenience, Penang brings a relaxed island charm, and JB could be evolving with the new RTS in the pipeline. Ultimately, it comes down to what you value more and lifestyle you want to live, or investment return you are aiming for. By understanding the real costs and the real perks of each city, you can make the choice that truly fits your needs. Number 3, the pace in KL can feel overwhelming. It's not a place for those who want a slow, quiet life. It's energetic, busy, ambitious, and sometimes a bit chaotic. But if you're coming from big cities like Hong Kong, Singapore, or New York, the pace here is of course slower than what you're used to. If you're looking for convenience but still want a more laid-back lifestyle than KL, consider the neighborhoods where expat community are slowly forming, like the established Mont Kiara, the family-friendly Desa Bang City, or the rising Bukit Jalil. Now next, let's look into the hotspots among expats in KL. Firstly, we have Mont Kiara, a long-established expat hub in KL. Mont Kiara is known for its international schools, walkable pockets, and vibrant Japanese and Korean communities with cafes everywhere. However, because it's around for about 30 years, many condos here are starting to age, and as developers have filled in every pocket of land due to the demand over the years, it can feel a bit like a concrete jungle. If you're looking for a completed project in Mount Kiara, you can consider projects like Aquarius, Sunny, Sant Mount Kiara, and Verb Suite. Prices ranges from 780 ringgit per square feet to 1,100 ringgit per square feet. If you don't mind waiting for a few years, projects like the Mink and Pavilion Mount Kiara can be on your watch list. Prices ranging between 800 ringgit to 1,000 ringgit per square feet. Next, you have the KLCC, TRX, and Bukit Bintang area. For those who want true city living, this area offers the prestige of owning a property near KLCC or Pavilion Mall. While some parts are short drive or walk to KLCC Park, it depends on where exactly you live in the city centre. The area is well connected by public transport, making commuting convenience, though it comes with a higher cost of living. It's ideal for those who want a vibrant city lifestyle and the prestige of being right next to KLCC and all the top amenities. Plus, there are also a well-known international school in the vicinity, adding to the area's appeal for expat families. If you're looking for a completed or almost completed project, you can check out projects like the Conley, Oxley Tower, Orion, Core Residence, and TRX Residence, with price ranging from 2,000 ringgit to 3,000 ringgit per square feet. And if you don't mind waiting for a few years, you can look into projects like Pavilion Square and Clubhouse, with price ranging from 2.5k to 3k per square feet. And if you're looking for investment property in KL City Centre with high rental ROI, you can check out projects like Branniganz, Hanaz, Centrix, Dawn, Divine, Hallson, Phoenix, with price ranging from 1,700 ringgit per square feet all the way to 2,700 ringgit per square feet. Now next we have Desa Park City, one of the safest and most well-planned communities in Malaysia. Desa Park City is famous for its pet-friendly park and walkable family-oriented environment. Over the past decade, it's become a magnet for expats and property prices have soared from around 700 ringgit to 1,400 ringgit per square feet in less than 10 years. It's an amazing place to live with strong community feel, but just keep in mind that the entry price now is on the higher side. If you're looking for recently completed projects here, you can check out projects like Park Region and Park Place. Both are located close to the Central Park. Of course, the price is already going for around 1,003 to 1,004 per square feet. But if you don't mind waiting for a bit, you can check out Nura Residence selling at 1.1k per square feet onwards. Next, we have Bukit Jalil, a rising suburb that's becoming increasingly attractive for expats seeking a calmer, greener lifestyle in KL. In the past few years, more and more expats have quietly been moving in, drawn by the massive green park, the new Grade A Pavilion Mall, and modern retail and community amenities. It's an up-and-coming area that offers fresh, modern vibe, and the good news is the entry price are still relatively affordable, starting from around 800 ringgit to around 1,000 ringgit per square feet. Just keep in mind that as it gains popularity, those prices are gradually rising. If you are looking for a ready-to-move-in project in the central zone of Bukit Jalil, you can check out projects like Park Sky, Park 2, Skylux, Tropica, with price ranges from 900 ringgit to 1,000 ringgit per square feet. If you don't mind waiting, you can consider projects like Park Green and Queenswoodz in the central zone, or Oaka Resident in the Quarter Golf Course zone, with price ranges from 780 ringgit per square feet to 1,100 ringgit per square feet. So, if you had 1.2 million ringgit, would you prefer a 650 square feet unit next to KLCC or 1,200 square feet unit in Mount Kiara or Bukit Jalil? So, what matters more to you? Is it location, lifestyle, or size? I've compiled an easy-to-read ebook covering 21 most popular projects in KL City, including the layout sizes, price range, maintenance fee, and project highlights. If you want to compare them side by side, you can check out the link in the description below. Now, let's talk about who KL is really for. If you're someone who still wants a city with energy, opportunity, and things happening every day, KL should be high on your list. If you like convenience, where malls, gyms, cafes, hospitals, and offices are all within short drives or a couple of train stops, KL makes daily life a lot easier. If you have kids and you want multiple international school options, you'll find them spread across Mount Kiara, Desa Park City, Bukit Jalil, and Ampang. So you are not locked into just one neighborhood. You've got Desa Park City or Bukit Jalil when you want greener, more family-centric living. living. If healthcare matters to you, whether it's regular checkup or specialist treatment, KL gives you access to private hospitals and specialist centers at relatively affordable prices. If you're coming from big cities like Hong Kong, Singapore, London or New York, and you still want a city feel but a pace that's slightly slower and more relaxed than those places, KL fits that middle ground quite well. Now, from an investment angle, who is KL best for? KL makes sense for you as an investor if you want strong, steady rental demand with more potential tenants compared to many smaller cities in Malaysia. So KL is made up of different micro markets. For example, in KL city centre, the price per square feet here are relatively higher. So most of the time, if you want to have higher ROI, your go-to projects would be short-term rental project, as the city centre is also the tourist hotspot in Malaysia. On the other hand, areas like Mont Kiara, Desa Park City, Bukit Jalil and Bangsar South are more livable expat neighbourhoods. These are better if you are targeting stable long-term rentals from families, professionals and students. But you also need to be very clear about entry price. If you buy too expensive, even in a strong area, the rental yield can end up lower than you expect. And finally, if you're looking for potential capital appreciation, you might want to look into developing township with upcoming infrastructure and amenities. For example, areas like Bukit Jalil, where you have a new wellness city coming up. So that's who Kuala Lumpur is ready for, both from an own stay perspective and an investment perspective. Now, let's look into Johor Bahru. Johor Bahru is the city everyone suddenly started talking about again. Why? Because it sits just across the border from Singapore, and with the RTS, SEZ, and all the attention from across the causeway, it is no longer just that border town. It's slowly becoming a cross-border lifestyle and investment play. So let's break it down. JB can feel very different depending on where you stay. Some parts still feels like an old town, a bit messy. Some are more industrial, comes with busy roads, older shop houses. But newer pockets like Medini or Iskandar Puteri Eco Botanic, Puteri Harbour feels a lot more master planned, spacious and modern. If you like parks, waterfront walks and some greenery, these places stands out. The Eco Botanic and Ecotropic Township comes with wide roads, gated and guarded, landscape streets that are popular among families. And at Puteri Harbour, you've got the waterfront promenade, marina sunset views, good for evening walks, cafes and a slightly resort style feel. While JB doesn't give you the same island chill feel as Penang or the polished city park combo of KL, but in the right pocket, you do get a mix of space, greenery and modern township. So people who choose JB usually falls into a few groups. Firstly, people working in Singapore who want to live in JB to enjoy lower housing costs and bigger homes. Secondly, retirees or semi-retirees who want to stretch their currency but still be near Singapore. Then you have family who want landed houses, gated and guarded living and international school without paying the Singapore prices. But here's something you need to know. JB city planning is still developing. So some areas might still feel half developed. You really need a car to live here practically. So next, let's look into the hotspot in JB where most expats would look into. Firstly, JBCC near the CIQ area because it's the closest to Singapore. It's usually for those who travel to Singapore often and prefer to be within walking distance to the CIQ. Next, you have Medini or Iskandar Puteri. It's a newer master planned township style near Legoland and more of Medini with international schools and family-oriented facilities nearby. It feels more like a new city than an old JB town. Wider roads, neater planning and a cleaner overall layout. Popular with families who want to be close to Singapore but don't want to be right in the CIQ congestion zone. Next, you have Tangga Bay, the waterfront area facing the streets. You get sea views, promenades and a mix of new high-rises and older projects. So properties here are good for if you want a sea-facing lifestyle near JB City. Next, you have the Eco Botanic. It's a gated and guarded township with strong branding, landscape streets and a more suburban premium feel. Very popular with families and Singapore communities who prefer landed homes, bigger space, and a safer, quieter environment. Now in this video, I won't be recommending any specific condos or project in this JB segment because this area is a bit more complex, especially around product type and different stages of maturity across townships. But if you're seriously considering JB as a base to be close to Singapore and want help filtering areas or projects based on your lifestyle and budget, you can reach out to us via the link in the description below, and our specialist team can walk you through the options in more details. So in JB, you don't get a Desa Park City style lake park yet, but in township like Eco Botanic or Iskandar Puteri, you do get a proper landscape streets, community park, and a more relaxed landed home environment. And if you like waterfront sunset, Puteri Harbour and Dangang Bay give you that seafront evening walk vibe, just in a more developing, less polished version compared to KL City or Penang's Gurney Drive. So who should be considering JB seriously? It's best for own stay if you are from Singapore and want to retire or own a holiday home just across the border, close enough to go back home anytime, but with a much more relaxed, spacious lifestyle. Or if you are working in Singapore but don't want to squeeze into a tiny apartment, you want more space, more privacy, and more affordability while still being within commuting distance to Singapore. Or like the idea of a cross-border lifestyle, work in Singapore, live and spend your weekends in Malaysia, enjoy cheaper food, bigger home, and a different pace of life. Now, here's where we need to talk honestly. Right now, a lot of people are hyping JB because of the RTS. Everyone's talking about the future growth, Singapore spillover, RTS boom, but very few actually sit down and work out the numbers. In the next 3 to 5 years, we are seeing a surge of around 20,000 to 30,000 new units being built near the CIQ. So the real question is, can the actual demand truly absorb 20 to 30,000 new units? Or are we repeating the same story we saw in places like Flora City and Dangang Bay? Because if you look back, some projects that used to launch around 1,000 ringgit per square feet later dropped to around 500 ringgit per square feet when supply far exceeded real end user demand. I'm not saying don't invest in JB. What I'm saying is this. When you see prices near CIQ already going as high as 1,400 ringgit per square feet, and you know there are 20 to 30,000 new units coming into the market, you have to ask yourself, am I early or am I entering at the stage before a market correction? Am I buying because of real numbers or just because everyone is talking about RTS? JB can still be a good market if you are selective, clear about your entry price, and very honest about whether the tenant and buyer demand will match the future supply. By now, you can probably see there is no one best city. Each of these three play a very important role in Malaysia's story. So how do you actually decide? Here's a simple way to frame it. If your priority is career, networks, convenience, and options, KL is the most logical base. If your priority is lifestyle, slower pace, and coastal living, Penang will feel more like home. If your priority is cross-border opportunity and Singapore link upside, especially near RTS and keynotes, JB is where the story is. At the end of the day, it comes back to one question. Are you choosing a city to live your everyday life, or are you choosing a city to grow your money? Sometimes the answer is in the same city, sometimes it's not. So now I'm curious, which one fits you more right now? Is it Penang, Kuala Lumpur, or Johor Bahru? And are you leaning more towards lifestyle or investment? You can share with me your thoughts in the comment below. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. It will motivate me to create more contents like this for you. Until we meet again, ciao!